Oh, shit. I almost forgot that I bought this bottle of vodka for my friend Brittany. She just turned 31. I think that the 31st birthday is the worst. Because you think like when you turn 30, you're supposed to be like together with yourself, you know? You're supposed to like have things figured out. You're supposed to like have a career lined up. You're supposed to, you know, be making provisions and have your family life squared away and all that shit. Well, when I turned 30, I realized that I was a stand-up comedian. And notice that I didn't say I started pursuing stand-up comedy. I said I figured out that I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, it's not something that you pursue. You either are or you aren't. And people might think that's silly or that I sound arrogant, but anybody that's a true artist understands that statement completely. And if you're misunderstood, congratulations, that's the first step to accepting yourself as an artist, because you have to be somewhat of a reject. Because I think that the best art is going to be art that like rejects society. And a lot of people complain about the art that came out in like the 1800s. But it's like, it's a result of the Industrial Revolution. It's a result of people feeling like God isn't real. You know, people aren't trusting in God. People aren't trusting in things that they know to be true, because they just don't have any concept of reality anymore. And so the art is going to be all abstract. Oh, so good. Oh my goodness. But I think that my art is like so literal, you know, because of that in particular. So like my reaction to the abstract world that we live in is to be as literal as possible. To just let it all hang out. What you see is what you get. I've always been that way, but I didn't realize that like my whole life is an art in itself, you know? I know that sounds fucking pretentious as fuck, but it's true. It's true. See, look at this bullshit, you guys. This is a liberal publication. Imagine that. They fucking hate Republican lawmakers. They do. Which is crazy, because like Republican lawmakers like really don't do that much. So I don't really understand their basis of hatred, but at the same time, like, they just do what they're told. They hate who they think they're supposed to hate, you know? But I've been getting so many dirty looks from people because of this crucifix. I've noticed it ever since I've been starting to wear this. It's like when I went to the health food store today, this like lesbo looking bitch, she didn't think much of me, but then we started talking about cold brew, and suddenly I won her over. See, that's the thing, like, if you talk to people and you let them know, okay, I'm not one of those, like, crazy Christians that's gonna, like, tell you you're gonna burn in hell because you're obviously a bulldyke, you know? Like, I'm not gonna do that. It's not my place to do that. And even if I were a preacher, which I'm not, I would never be a preacher because we're not supposed to do that. But that's not something that I'm gonna obsess about, you know? I don't really want to obsess about degeneracy. I just want to show that there's a way out of that. I want to show that there's an alternative to what the world is doing. So even if you are in like the LGBT community, if you don't feel like much of a connection to it anymore, if you don't feel much of a connection to, you know, people that you think you're supposed to feel connected to, that's okay. That's okay. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe you're not supposed to feel connected to them. Maybe there's a reason for that separation, because those people aren't supposed to be in your life anymore. You know, I had to come to terms with that. There's a lot of people that I wish had stuck it out with me. But, you know, I feel like we're just too different now. Especially me being the crazy conspiracy theorist that I am. I really don't care, though. I mean, that's not like a deal breaker. You have any idea, like, how many friends of mine are total sheep? They're all sheep in different ways, too, you know? It's like some of them still wear masks. A lot of them have taken their jabs, okay? They all have a smartphone. They're all on Facebook. They do stuff I disagree with, you know? Sexual immorality ain't shit compared to the technology that people are obsessed with. I really hate that more than I hate anything else, but... like, it's not my place to judge people for that. And I'm definitely not going to, like, refuse to talk to people or hang out with somebody all because they live a life that I don't understand or I don't agree with, you know? I'm sure they feel the same way about me. And if they're not going to judge me, why the fuck would I judge them? But when they talk about judging something like abortion, you know, I'm not judging women on an individual basis. I'm judging the act of abortion. And the more that you normalize and destigmatize something like that, the more popular that's going to be. And it won't be a big deal, you know? And it'll be something that they celebrate, you know? Like, I remember when I thought I was a feminist, telling other feminists that I was pro-abortion, and they were mad about it. They didn't want me to do that. But the reason why I was pro-abortion is because I hate abusers of children. So if people want to get mad at me for my former stance, like, they can kiss my ass, because they don't really pay attention to those child abuse stories. I know that they don't, because if it doesn't make the headline, people don't know about it. So I have a hard time, like, believing that these motherfuckers actually care about human life. It seems like they just want to pretend that they can control women, which is kind of silly, because women are so self-destructive, it's not even funny. So they'll figure out a way to be self-destructive. I mean, the fact that they're like, I'm going to get my tubes tied, and like, that's just so funny. Like, they're just proving, like, how, I don't know, they don't have any awareness of themselves, and, like, just how silly they sound. When it's like, all they have to do is just be sexually responsible. Like, that's it. That's it. Just figure out when you bleed, sweetheart. Oh, hey, it's the second Thursday of the month, and this is around the same time that I started bleeding last month, and the month before that, and the month before that. Pay attention. That's it. Oh, hey, I'm the most fertile right now. I probably shouldn't be engaging in premarital sex. I probably shouldn't be doing this with somebody that I just met at a bar. But, you know, that's the problem with women drinking. Now, men shouldn't drink either if they behave this way. But you'd see, like, the amount of unwanted pregnancies, like, greatly diminish if they banned alcohol. Not that I'm in favor of that, but I'm just saying a lot of these things are correlated, so. They'll never talk about that. They'll never talk about the bigger picture of, like, teaching human beings how to be responsible. They'll just keep focusing on the teeny tiny dot. But in this case, the teeny tiny dot is a fetus and, you know, a living, breathing, developing creature. You know, so it's kind of a big deal. I'm an illegitimate child, okay? So we can talk about this, and I like talking about it. I love talking about controversial things in a way that people haven't heard, but we'll talk about it again, surely.